Hey, what's up guys? Dominique Danielle here, and I am back with another story time. So I hope you're ready. This story time is about the first time I ever had sex.
Tell 'em, I go crazy.
Okay, so as you know, this is a very touchy subject for me because I'm very private in particular parts of my area of my life. But just to start off, of course, I want to encourage every young person to save yourself for the right person. Do not just jump up and have sex and do it young and all that extra stuff, because I'm telling you, it's not worth it giving it to somebody who don't deserve it, basically. Let's go back a couple years, some years ago. I was 18, finna be 19, and I had finally fell in love, okay? This is the first time I ever felt like any guy besides Bow Wow.
Wait, what?
Any guy besides Bow Wow. Because at this time, I was saving myself for Bow Wow. Don't judge me. It was just something to make sure I kept my virginity intact. Okay, put your standards high so then, you know, even when you shoot for the moon and if you miss, you land amongst the stars. I don't know, whatever. That's not to say go for celebrities. I'm just saying, save yourself. Of course, I waited till I was almost grown, and I was actually getting ready to go to college, actually. And I was liking this guy that I knew from high school. But actually, we didn't go to the same school at one point. We actually didn't go to the same school at first. I met him at the library down the street from my house. And then eventually I ended up going to that school a little later, but that's how we ended up meeting and dating and stuff. And we dated for almost it was a year. Finally, I was like, you know, I really like him, so I think I'm ready. I don't know why I was in such a rush. Though I wasn't in a rush, I felt like I was, now looking back, I feel like I was rushing myself because I was young and whatnot, whatever. This was a time where my mother was working, her and her husband was working, and me and my sister at the time, she was like my sister, and we was at the house, and he would come over and visit me and stuff like that. And so one time I had let him know, like, because we was together and it was like a relationship type thing, and I was grown for the most part. I just went in my own shit yet. House. I went in my own house yet. I was like, I think I'm ready. You know, I think I'm ready. This is what I'm telling my sister. I think I'm ready, so I'm gonna tell him. So I tell him like, hey, you know, I think I'm ready. He was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm ready. And so my mother, my stepfather, they were going to work, and me and my sister was actually at the house, and I had called him to come over. You know, that type of text or whatever, or my mom and dad ain't here. That was basically how that happened. He came over, and I made sure we used protection and all that other extra stuff because, you know, definitely didn't want to have no diseases or no babies. Not to say that he had a disease, but, you know, you just protect yourself at all times. So eventually, you know, the crazy thing about it though is I was really scared. Even being a grown-up, like, I was scared. I was a late bloomer. I've always been like the last to do the grown-up stuff. I was always last to do that. Like, I was always last. Again, I was afraid, and I did it that day. And I waited a while before I would do it again because I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know how I feel about it, because it's not a great feeling the first time you do that. It doesn't feel great or good. So yeah, I don't know what everybody else is or how everybody else's story is, but the exciting part is not that. The exciting part is, oh God, we're done? Yes, okay, great. So, then finally when it was done, I was just like, I didn't really like it. So I was like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna do that again for a very long time. He eventually was like, hey, like 2 or 3 weeks later, was like, hey, let's do that again. So I was like, okay. We did it again. And then, same scenario, you know, of course, parents not home. I do not encourage anybody to sneak and do that. But I was grown. I was pretty much grown. I just didn't have my own place. you know? 19, I was grown. But I still wasn't grown. You get me? Like legal, but not grown. After that, the funny thing is, he ended up breaking up with me not even about 3 months later. We ended up breaking up. He ended up breaking my heart. I cried. Okay? I cried. That's the only man that's ever seen me like cry to him. Like asking not to break up. Like, please don't. Like, I don't want to break up. And yeah, he didn't give a fuck. He was like, yeah, I want to be over. The moral of this story is wait to have sex. Do not sneak and have sex. Be grown and give it to somebody that you really care about. Though I was with him a year, it just didn't last after. It just got way more complicated after sex. It always does. So I would encourage you guys to always wait. Do not rush. Do any of that, because honestly, it's really, really not worth it. It's really not worth the rush. You really shouldn't force yourself to grow up. Take your time, because again, like when you finally grow up and you've done it, you realize it was worth waiting for. It was worth giving it to something more valuable. You get what I'm saying? Like giving it to somebody you really care about, like, and really planning. Like I planned on being with him, but he didn't plan on being with me, so you know, that's how that went. Besides that though, my intentions were good. Like I didn't plan on like just sleeping around or doing any of that extra stuff. So I want to encourage all young women and men to give yourself to somebody you really care about. Don't be in a hurry to lose a virginity because you don't want to be a kid no more. That has nothing to do with it. It's all about maturity, and it's about giving yourself to the right person. It's about doing it, you know, in a way to where once you've done it, you don't feel used, abused, neglected, or treated any kind of way. Give it to somebody who really cares about you. And sometimes you don't really know until afterwards. But then sometimes you got the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags, okay? So there are those. The funny thing is that once my mother found out, she was really upset because she was, and though I was grown, she was like, you shouldn't have ever done that. Now you're just like everybody else. And she was basically right. But how you do it from then forward, you know, really differentiates you from everybody else. Make sure, you know, you are particular about who you have. You know, don't just be out here slanging it to everybody. You want to have some class, some fucking love for yourself, respect for yourself, so then you make them respect you. You get what I'm saying? Don't be doing all that extra shit, because I'm telling you, it can wait. I still waited a long time to have sex, but I still feel like I could have gave that to something way better. Way better. Not to say that he wasn't a good enough person, just the intentions of somebody being with me, like better type of thing. Like I could have given that to somebody who planned on being with me like another how long ever. Not just, you know, a couple months after, and then school starts, college is ready, and now he's ready to break up. You get what I'm saying? Because now school was starting, college was getting ready, he was ready to break up. It was over. New things. New things. That's all he was worried about, something new. But you know, I learned, and I would have to say that sometimes you learn with hurt, but at the end of the day, I learned to make sure I pass this story to the next girl or guy. Because you definitely want to save yourself for somebody who cares about you. And even if you don't know if he cares about you or not, just save yourself. Save yourself. Because like, to be honest with you, when you're young, you ain't really trying to be with nobody, just one person. Like, if you are, it's shocking. I love the thought of love. I love the thought of people being in love with just one person for forever. Like, I love that. But it's not likely when you're 19, 20. You get what I'm saying? So make sure you guys keep this in mind. Be careful who you give yourself to. Take your time. Do not rush sex. It is a serious matter. It's not anything. It's nothing you should just use lightly. Not as lightly as people try to make it seem, or it's not as light as people try to give it. You know, as much light as people try to give it. You should take yourself and who you receive, or how you know deal with people. You should take that very seriously and do it with some class. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to be, you know, grown, but be mature. And being mature doesn't mean like busting it open for everybody because you're grown. Being mature means you care and you respect yourself enough to take your time. You respect yourself enough to make somebody else respect you. You feel me? And all of that. So, yeah. My first time was not the best, but it was something that I chose to do. So I want to encourage you guys to make better choices with yourselves. And it's funny because even after then, I did not have sex for a very long time after that. And then from there, I was in a long relationship once I decided to. So yeah, very, very particular. Be very particular with yourself, all right? If you in that stage of your life where, you know, you having sex or you whatever, do not play yourself. You get me? Carry yourself with some respect. That's all I got to say. Do that stuff with some respect, and don't let nobody make you feel bad or feel like you hoe shaming because you know where respect lies. You get me? All right, we here. All right, that is my story for the first time I had sex. Hopefully, it wasn't too crazy or boring. It really wasn't that enthusiastic. It was really not that great. But I definitely want to give this story to encourage other people, you know, to do right by yourself. All right? Till next time.